Good morning, happy Saturday. Sorry, I'm close to being late. Must admit, I'm a little tired. Crew to Tony Robbins' event, and I got home late last night because I went down to Bloomington to see a high school football game. First live event since the shutdown, March 17th, 2020. So it happened. It was a high school football game, and you know what? It was great to be there. And you could tell everybody felt it was great to be there. It was great to see kids playing, kids cheerleading, kids playing in a band, kids just out being kids, screwing around. And the adults, they were incredibly happy to show up and sit there and watch a game. It was a great time. But I got home a little bit late. So rough week in the stock market. So my question to you is, would you buy your stock right now? Let's say you're on CNBC and the company of you is up and your quarterly report is due next week. It's going to be April next week. Would you buy your stock? Or would you sell your stock? Or would you hang on to your stock? And why or why not? You know, would you buy your own interest in terms of where you're going right now? And if you were going to pitch yourself, what would you say? You know, I heard somebody make the analogy about your life and say, you know, imagine the rest of your life is a movie and you get to write the script. What do you want it to be? And what you got to write something that people are going to get excited about. You got to write something that's going to inspire people. You got to write something that's going to get people to go to the theater. What's the rest of your life going to be if it was going to be a movie? If they were going to make a movie out of the rest of your life, what would you do? How would you approach it? You know, what would you do in order to get people's attention? If you're going to just do the same thing, that's not going to work. So what would you need to do in order to get people excited, in order to get people inspired? How would you approach your life? Well, as I was walking out of here, I thought, would you buy stock? Would you buy your own stock? And if the answer is no, well, then obviously you got stuff to look at. And if the answer is yes, why? What is it that you're going to do? What is it that you're going to be? What is it that everybody else should invest in? And if we have to even hesitate at that, then what are we doing? Because we ought to be able to look at the camera immediately and say, you should be buying my stock ahead of anybody else, because here's what I'm going to do. You know, when they asked Michael Jordan, even when he was at the Olympics with the greatest basketball players on the planet, who should take the last shot if there was a last second shot? Without hesitation, he looked at the reporter and said, me, of course. Why would you even think anybody else? Arrogant? Yeah. But is that the guy that you want taking the last shot or not? You know, I take depositions of surgeons a lot, and in particular neurosurgeons, because people end up with spinal cord injuries in these wrecks. And one of the things you hear all the time is people will say, well, they're arrogant. And I'm like, and I always respond by saying, well, you know, wouldn't you want them to be? I mean, if somebody came in, you know, there's that great commercial going on now where the guy comes in and he says, the physician, and he says, hey, I just got reinstated. And then he goes, are you nervous? Yeah, me too, but we'll see if we can figure it out. I mean, if you want somebody to cut on your back, you want the person that has all the confidence in the world that they know what they're doing and that they're godlike and they're going to be able to figure this out. So the same should be said for you thinking about your future. You should think about that and immediately go, yes, you should absolutely want to buy my stock, because I'm going to go do stuff that's going to be magnificent. Now, that magnificent doesn't necessarily mean, when I say buy your stock, I mean as a person. Not that you're going to go make a huge pile of money, but as an individual, if I was going to bet on somebody to have a positive impact on the world, should I be betting on you or should I be betting on somebody else? So think about writing the movie that is the rest of your life. What do you want it to be? And how are you going to write it so that people are excited? And if you needed to sell yourself as a stock, if that's a metaphor that resonates better with you, then do it that way. But as we head through the next chapters of our life, April's coming next week, the world's opening up, we need to look at it as though we're going to actually go do something amazing. You know, Hugh Hefner started out keeping track of his life at a very early age. He called it the catalog, the archives. He called it the archives. And he archived everything that he did in his life, every party, every event. And he said, I'm going to live a life worth living. I'm going to live an extraordinary life, so I want to document it. And then as he went on in life, he said, you know, that was really kind of an arrogant thing to do at the beginning. But in the end, if a period of time went by and I hadn't archived something, I thought to myself, well, I better go do something. I better go do something significant so that I can put it into the archives. And so it became a self-perpetuating prophecy. Once he got it started, then he went, oh God, I got to, you know, it's been a little bit. I got to do something big and put something in there. Otherwise, you know, people aren't going to read it. So the world's going to open up. Let's think about what it is extraordinary that you're going to do. Think about what it is that you're going to do that you can put in your archives that people are going to be excited to look at. They're going to want to look and say, wow, look at what this person did. Look at what they achieved. Look at what they overcome. Look at what they gave away. Look at what they created. Look at what they did with their life in a way that was awesome. Remember we talked this week about the hero's journey from slavery to freedom. That's everybody's journey. So what is it that you're going to free yourself from so that you can inspire the rest of the world or inspire your kid or even better, inspire yourself? So a lot of people this morning. Diana, my beautiful, good morning. Good to see you. Uncle Bill, great to see you, sir. Mr. Lampy, always good to see you. Chrissy, my cousin out in Boston, is saying hi. Mary Kaufman is on board. And Diana says hers is going to be a comedy. Diana, yours is going to be a beautiful gypsy's story. So have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other. The world's opening up. Time to go do something.